and welcome into this video, and today I'm going to show you a very cool opening gambit against the first move d4. So here I recommend you to play d6, and basically what you want just to play e5. For example, if I do this, I want to take you, hoping you to recapture, and then you can't castle it anymore. But instead you will play the move knight c6, adding more pressure onto the d6 pawn, onto the e5 pawn, sorry. And of course we'll just take, and now you've got this lead in development, and your plan is basically to put the bishop on g4, play queen e7 or queen f6, and then to castle queenside, and then your rook will be very active. And this plan is very effective. So, for example, knight f3. Now you bring out your bishop. Now they play e3, trying to protect this knight. I mean, if they go knight c3, this is a bit better. This is a bit better than e3 because you don't really want to take. But anyway, you can, for example, continue your plan with queen f6 and then long castle, because this doesn't do anything to you. So after bishop g4, they will usually play e3, and now you bring out your queen to f6. Now putting some pressure here, putting some pressure here, potentially where the joint attack by g6. So they will try to overprotect this knight and unpin their knight. And now you castle queenside. And now if they're not careful, and if they can't just castle here, can trade off knights, this bishop for this knight, and then you're winning this queen. I mean, the reason why you do this, this is also possible, but now you have to be a bit careful because this bishop is hanging, and then white will regain their material. You have to move rook d7, but it's a bit simpler to trade your bishop first. So if they castle kingside, you're just completely winning. Now also your threat is bishop b4, winning this queen, so they can try to move out their queen. And now you could play knight b4, but it's very important to remember this move bishop f5, because now your opponent is in a lot of trouble basically, because they can't play queen c3 because of this skier. And if they play something like bishop d3, they're just losing their queen. So it's quite tricky for them. Now where can they go? If they go here, now I've got this very nice tactic, queen g6, and this is actually double attack, for example, if they move the rook. And now it's actually quite important that you have to move bishop before check. And now this is covered, so they have to they actually can't really block, because then this rook is hanging. If they move the queen, you can just take this pawn, for example. So they should play queen takes b4, and if they take there, then they can take your queen. But you've got this very nice intermediate move, and now you're up material. Also knight c2 is coming. So queen f4 is also losing for them. Now the only move that doesn't lose immediately is the move e4. And now you play knight b4, and again it's quite unlucky for them, because this pawn can't be defended anymore. For example, now queen b3, you can just take this pawn, and now you regained your pawn, and your position is just completely dominating. Knight c2 is coming, and your pieces are just so active. So yeah, so c4 is definitely not really the way to go, because, for example, if they go knight f3, you can even push your pawn forward and defend it like this. Then you can play c6, d5 later on. So c4 looks very natural, but it's not a very good move. So the best move is knight f3, just completely stopping the move e5. And now you play knight c6. Just a quick note, if I go e4, you can also play the same thing against e4. Usually your opponents won't play e4 because they're a d4 player. But in this case, you can do the same thing, just sacking this. and then playing bishop g4, queen e7, or queen f6. In this case, maybe queen e7 is a bit more accurate to put some pressure on e4 and then castling queenside. So knight f3 stops e5 completely, but nope. You go e5, and now if they go c4, you play e5. If they take, now we can play bishop g4, and this is just a transposition. So they can also try to attack your knight like this. Now like the move knight e7. You can proceed with moves like g6, bishop g7, f4, knight f6, short castle, and you've got a very nice attacking position. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Oh wait, one more thing which I almost forgot is to move bishop f4 the London system, because now you can't play h5 anymore. So, but I think you know already on move e5. Boom, just sacrificing this pawn, and now you play knight c6. In this case, you can't really recapture because of the bishop, but now you go bishop f6. And now this is quite scary for them. Finally, the most played move is bishop c1, but then it just take, and I think you know the plan. I mean, they can play queen c1, but in this case, it looks like you don't have any compensation, but that's not true. You can play bishop f5, castling queenside, for example, like this, and now I've got this brilliant move, pawn to g5, and they can't really take because of this, and suddenly, there's a lot of pressure. So now you know what to do against London system. So you know what to do against everything. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and see you in the next one.